Frank, can you put us on the Facebook page with the Twitch link saying we're live? Da, 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 da.
Yo, if there are too many cooks in this kitchen, I'm willing to not cast. I'm totally down to just drink.
No, Adam. Theater majors are gonna be here, all right? Get out.
All right, that's fine.
Let me know when the stream's up, okay? Garrett?
Yep. And we're online.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to, we have the All-Star edition of the Find Me Off LCS featuring Team Fire versus Team Ice. These are going to be All-Stars. They were voted in by members of the league. Everybody voted. These are what we came up with. So we're going to give you a rundown of the teams real quick. Team 1, we're looking at Front Lash in the top lane. Top laner for Team Vi. Known for some carry type champions, plays a lot of Rumble, plays some Camille, played a Jace game. Then we have Irion in the jungle. Interestingly enough, he's played 4 different positions because he played a game at top lane, a game at AD carry, and a game at support. So he's the most positioned member of the All-Star teams. But he's going to be taking in the jungle role. Then we have Gerg 7, owner of most kills on the split with 149. Best KDA, highest damage per minute, and he was the split MVP for Team Grab Them by the Team O. Forgot to mention, Irion was from Team Great. And we have Jirachi at 80 carry for 7 Deadly Sins. Known for his Jinx play, very strong on that champion, good DPS. And then Violet Sociocat, the support from Comeback Kids. Very strong shot caller. One of the biggest strengths that she brings to that squad. And we're looking at Team Ice. We have Light Pulse 94 in the top lane. Another very carry-oriented top laner. Has the highest damage per minute of any top laner at 635. Also, has 4 First Bloods as top lane, which is the most out of any laners. Elucida in the jungle. Jungler for Champion Spotlight Ashen. Has 90 kills, the most of any jungler. General Dill, going to be the mid laner from Team Vi. Highest kill participation in the entire league at 73%, and still pretty good damage per minute to go with it, sitting at about 701 or so. Then we have Starcraft, the 80 carry from First Team Best Team. One of his biggest strengths has been his CS numbers, sitting at about 8.1 a minute, highest in the league. And then Allergic to Milk. Sal is our pal from Champion Spotlight Ashen, the support for Team Ice. And the biggest thing that he's done, he's won 7 Player of the Games. He's been a playmaker for Champion Spotlight Ashen. Really quick, I'm going to also now give us a rundown of who we have casting today. There are a lot of people, so if I forget somebody, sorry. We have with us Adam Theatrix Hall. Say hello to the people.
How you doing, everybody?
We got Frank DG Mad Hatter Caputo. I hope I said the name right. If I didn't, it happens.
Good evening. Hello, everyone.
We got Garrett Garfield Juice Jones.
Good evening.
Myself, Gnarls Barkley. And I believe we also have John Bellowing Bison. I don't remember your last name because I suck.
Christensen.
Christensen. Yeah, that one. We got Eric Fling Panda Montgomery.
Wait, who the
Oh, so we got Panda.
We got Panda.
And then we got the Will Brooks. He's here. He's muted.
The true all-star.
Yo. And we're already rolling into the picks and bans for this game. Frank, how about you run us through what they've banned?
Yeah, first ban coming from Team Fire is the Echo ban targeting Elucida and main of Echo in the jungle. First ban by Team Ice is the ban targeting Front Lash, which we were talking a little bit about earlier. Second ban for Team Fire is the Alawi ban. I don't know how much Light Pulse plays it, but I'm assuming it's important. The ban against Violet Sociocat from Team Ice is Thresh. We have an Urgot ban from Team Fire, followed by a Jace ban from Team Ice.
That is hilarious that Light Pulse banned the Jace.
And, first pick we see here is going off to Team Fire, and we are gonna see a Rengar.
That's the Irion special. That is one of his favorite champs. So we're seeing some pocket picks rolling in, which is kind of nice. It's nice to see some people playing things that they want to play, not necessarily what's meta and the strongest. Although you could make an argument that Rengar is fairly strong still, but we see a Graves pickup presumably for Lucida. So
Yeah.
he's really strong on that.
Yeah, which he plays that a lot, and uh, does very well on. Has played it a couple
Absolutely.
games for Champion Spotlight Ashen, which, as the maybe the viewers do not know, that I'm on the mid laner for.
No, we have a Vladimir pickup. Man, Sebastian needs to learn how to spell. I'm presuming that's going to go to Light Pulse in the top lane. He likes playing it, although it's no guarantee that doesn't go to General Dill. I just know that's one of Light Pulse's primary pickups. So I'm excited to see what Greg pulls out. I think he's going to pull out something fun. I don't think
Oh,
There it is.
the
There it is.
Anivia.
the bird is the word.
We got
Coming
a,
out of Gerg 7.
we got a
a
cat
little-
and a bird.
A little known fact about Gerg. Gerg is the mid laner on my squad. Um, we practiced a lot of different comps, a lot of different champs. Nivea is something we kept wanting to pull out, but we never really had a good chance to. So it's kind of cool that he's going to get the opportunity to pull it out here and just show what he can do on it.
It's interesting to see that these comps, as far as the picks so far, are sort of mirroring each other in a way, in terms of the way that the game progresses. Graves kind of always outmatches Rengar just slightly, depending on the way the lead is going.
Mhm.
Vladimir and Anivia are both very strong characters at avoiding the all-in. So it's going to be interesting to see how they run out the comps, because right now they're playing pretty safely.
I will say though that this is one thing that is incredibly broken. If we didn't mention it already, sorry, I had a vacuum going on in the back of my mic, so I muted myself for a quick second. But we have a third pick, Tom Kench, and the Tom Kench is very good with the Anivia, seeing that once she goes into egg form,
He can eat the egg.
he can eat the egg. It's really disgusting. I've played it.
Very safe.
It's very, very safe.
We're going to see the Ezreal most likely for StarCraft.
The only thing
Although,
that concerns me about this comp so far is that they are very engage heavy from Rengar and not super engage heavy from the Anivia and Kench. But that might mean we get to see some really nice flank plays coming from Rengar. Would be a
Yeah.
strategy to go.
we got a Ezreal coming out for what I assume to be now StarCraft because we've seen the Diana pickup. I was gonna throw out that I know like he's playing Ezreal mid, and I know he was joking somewhat about maybe taking Ezreal top, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Now we've got two solo laners and an Ezreal, so it's probably gonna be the Ezreal AD carry still. That's fine. The
The
Jinx
Jirachi
and
pick
the
up.
Aurelia. Jirachi picking up that Jinx, one of his best known champions, really strong on it, and the Aurelia for front lash. A good champ for him, very carry oriented. Likes to get some farm and then just wreck face.
I will say that the Nivea Jinx Wall and Chompers, really good.
Right.
And more engaged from the Aurelia, but the comp kind of all over the place. A lot of dive in, and then Kench
There's
can
kind of
pull
not a
on.
lot. There's kind of not a lot of engage from both sides because if you look at what we're gonna have an Aurelia who just has a single target route. We have Anivia which has a stun, but it's not a full like AOE. I mean, it can hit more than one person, but it's tough to hit a whole lot. And the Nautilus,
The Nautilus top.
allergic to milk. Was talking about taking a Nautilus support. I was dealing with him earlier.
You know, I was
So
a
I
little
think we're going to
worried.
see it.
I was worried about Team Ice's comp until I saw that Nautilus pick. It kind of rounds it out really well because they have a really, really strong Wombo with all of their
Mhm.
ults. And I was looking for that beefy front line, the character that's going to be able to lock somebody down for them, and that was a really, really important pickup.
It's going to be the main source of engagement in this entire game because there's really Tom Kench can engage, but it's a lot harder. You don't have the same type of CC that a Nautilus is going to bring. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited. Arguably, these are the two best players at their positions across the league.
Used to be cool.
And so I think we're going to be in for a very bloody game. I don't think anybody's going to sit back and just farm. Everybody's going to want to be flexing their muscles a little bit.
All right. Life is too short for fear.
While we're rolling into this champion select, if you haven't already, remember to follow our channel. And if you want to donate to our prize pool to reward the gentlemen and ladies who potentially would win, go ahead. There's a PayPal link below the screen. While we're at it, I'm going to post a poll in the chat. I want to get an idea of who's going to win. I'm going to put... I'm forgetting how to do this. Who will win? That's right. That's how I do this. Been a hot minute, team.
Hashtag Greg sucks or hashtag
vote.
Team Ice.
Vote for Team Fire or Team Ice. Make your selections. Let's see what we got. Any surprises that you think come out of this champ select across the board?
Biggest surprise for me is the Vladimir pick. I find Vladimir to be pretty far out of the meta. It's been a bit since we've seen the Vlad, and I don't think it works great into the comp. I will say that with Graves and the Vladimir ult, it can be very deadly, but that's just a very circumstantial combo to get going. So a little worried for Light Pulse here. Also, the Diana pick from General Dill, though I'm very, very excited to see this mid lane matchup. I think it's going to be pretty insane. Specifically coming from Gerg, I think that he is great at communicating with the team and does a very good job of making plays. I will say, though, that General Dill is, I think, more consistent with his playmaking and is also a force to be reckoned with. So it just depends on how Greg is really feeling today, I think, for this matchup.
I know that... Oh, go ahead.
Nope. I was going to say, if he's on, it'll be tough.
Right.
But you know, I always have said, I very often see incredible things consistently out of General Dill.
Absolutely.
Also,
I'm disappointed that there's no Quinn in the game. I know General Dill and Frontlash both love playing it.
You know, even though it's not such a left field pick, I'm actually kind of most surprised about the Rengar coming out of Team Fire. Only because if they were already going to pick characters like Aurelia and Jinx, you would think they'd want something a little less carry-oriented out of the jungle to help set those characters up.
I just don't think they really cared. They wanted to all kind of have fun on a champ that was flashy.
Oh, absolutely. I just think that it might come back to bite them if any character like Diana or Graves gets a little bit ahead in the early game, because their mid-game power spike is really what's going to matter for them in terms of winning the game.
Looking real quick at their champ select, though, it looks like that Frontlash might actually be going mid. He did take the Ignite, could be a kill lane top lane, but I highly doubt that. It looks like Greg might actually be taking that Anivia top lane.
I think that personally, I think that I disagree with that. I think that the Aurelia specifically is just taking the Ignite to kind of counteract.
Yeah, I feel it's a try to counter the Vladimir. If the Vladimir gets ahead, he's gonna be able to push any melee champion out of lane, depending on how well Aurelia can be with her Q, with her dash.
It does stop some Graves too, because I think Graves has a bit of healing as well.
Especially if he builds like a Death Dance, that type of build. I do know those, like, sometimes in Champ Select, Greg will hover like troll sums. Greg is Gerg, fair warning. He'll hover like troll sums and just like hover different ones in case he's getting ghosted and the other team's watching the stream and they can see his sums, so that then he can change it once we get to the point where like it's too late to make a change. So there's no guarantee he's sticking with the TP. Although it's probably already, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we're on the
stupid.
spectator delay.
I got this. Go team.
You sure?
Nope.
Hooray.
Hooray.
I did it, team. I made it. I figured it out. What I kind of want to see is there's two ways to save the egg, essentially. One would be Violet Sociocat eating the egg. The other would be if Gerg7 can get his teleport channel off, like right as he's dying, the egg will still teleport.
Yes.
So that might also be one of his thoughts. Like, oh, I'm about to die. Let me just TP away.
I'm excited. I feel like it's going to be very bloody looking at both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we think has the better team comp here? Opinions go.
I feel if Team Fire gets ahead, they can snowball really easily. More so, in my opinion, than Team Ice. Ezreal's going to take time, especially if he goes tier. Ezreal's going to take time. Nautilus, right off the bat, isn't necessarily the most tankiest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of things, Tom Kench early levels isn't the most oppressive thing in lane.
I actually think that Team Ice has the best team comp if we're talking strictly team fighting, 5v5s, but obviously
agree
there are
with
a lot of power picks over on Team Fire. If any of them manage to get ahead, it could snowball pretty easily in their favor.
I kind of agree. I think Team Ice has a stronger team comp. I think it all comes down to they've got a better sense of how they're going to engage fights. It's a little bit trickier how Team Fire is going to engage their fights. They have to look for picks. They have to hope that Aurelia is ahead enough that when she engages on whomever that the Aurelia chooses to engage on, that it's actually a threat.
I feel if we get to the team fight stage and Team Fire is not ahead, it's going to be a lot harder for them, especially since Ice does have that better team fight comp.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all casters the same spiel I give every casters I cast with. I'll probably load into the game after you guys, so if anything funky happens level, you guys gotta handle it.
Yeah, I see. Will be a hot second.
Violet Sociocat is Stormbolt.
Yeah, I like that actually. I think if you're talking about like support masteries, it's always a little weird. Like there's some supports where it just makes sense to go Courage of the Colossus, Nautilus, because you got instant CC. But on supports like the Tom Kench, like the Braum, it's a little tougher to get that hard CC to trigger it. So instead, if you're Tom Kench and all you've got time to do is hit Q, you've got your Keystone procced, and then you can just have Jirachi auto attack whoever Violet Sociocat got his Q off onto, and then that's healing. That's free healing for the Jinx, which is always nice.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
As of right now, I've got zero.
I've got 0 seconds on mine as well.
And nothing's happened.
It sometimes takes a moment to go. Don't sweat it. It'll go.
Oh,
there it goes.
See, I told you. Yeah, but I'm still loading in, so.
oh, there we go.
Here we go.
And we have the mastery.
And we're off. There's a lot of them in this game.
Ooh, I'm not sure how I feel about the Thunder, specifically on the Vladimir.
I know there's a lot of talk with Sebastian's gone through some stages on his Vladimir. He used to be Storm Raiders, I know, but I've been on the receiving end of Light Pulse's Vladimir. You give it a little bit of a lead, it can be very strong, and I know Thunderlords is part of that.
He's an incredibly aggro player, so Thunderlord's
Yeah.
confidence.
He's always looking for chances to trade and chances to poke. So a fairly, honestly boring level 1, but
Yeah, a lot of dancing and some taunting and river.
Although Allergic Milk did not take an ability yet, so he could have taken the Q first, which is a fairly strong level 1 ability. I think it's less about... I feel like if a level 1 would have happened, it would have gone in the favor of Team Ice there. So it's probably for the better that Team Fire just play back. Don't risk giving up first blood on something silly like that.
Team Fire's win condition still remains, to me at least, they're top in their mid half to get ahead, because
Yeah.
Ice just has a better late game on those champions. If it gets out of hand, then they're going to have trouble crawling back into it.
So still fairly standard start. Irion will start the red buff, while Elucid is starting the blue buff. And doing what Graves does best, jungling with full health.
I'd like to see how, in the mid lane, how aggressive Greg is going to be early. Because Diana took Ignite, but she really shouldn't be able to fight him pre-6.
Pre-6, right.
Wow, we have a lot of chunking happening in
Yeah.
the top lane. With Light Pulse and Front Lash level 1.
Well, actually, this is a really fun matchup top lane, because these are both two top laners that I know playing fairly aggro. I think Front Lash likes to farm up a little bit more early, but then once he gets the items, he's way down to dance.
The important thing to note there, too, is the Aurelia went ahead and took the Corrupting Potion, and Vladimir opted for the Cloth Armor and 3 pots instead, and that's going to allow Aurelia to be a lot more aggressive during those trades.
We got a nice trade coming in. Oh, but Aurelia is going to be sent down to about 4th health. Elusive's coming in for the gank. Ignite is dropped down onto Light Pulse. It's not going to be enough to kill her. Flashes away by Front Lash on the Aurelia. It's going to be first blood over to Elucida, picking up the kill with red buff Graves. We're not running away from that.
I must be behind.
I'm also behind.
I'm at 322, 323, 324,
314.
325.
315.
Oh, sorry, stream, if I just spoiled first blood.
Oh,
Garrett, where are you at on time?
336, 337.
Okay. Okay, so
He's about
as long
3
as
seconds behind.
well, Garrett and I are tied up. So if you guys on your above the scoreboard, there's your little time bar. If you just like drag that all the way over to the right, you should get caught up. If all else fails, you can speed up and play until it
I
catches
sped
up.
up until we
There you go.
Ah, I found it.
Where do you see the farm counts? Because I want to know.
The what?
Farm counts. Ooh, we have a gank coming in mid lane on General Dill. Ooh,
Nice.
good CC
Oh,
chain
nice.
and goodbye Dill. Meanwhile, we have a
Play
play
coming
happening in
bot
bottom
side.
lane.
Bot
It is a
side.
good
It
harass
is a
on
Jirachi
Jinx. I don't think they're going to
all
get her though. We're getting a TP coming from mid lane. Don't.
Nivea. A Tom
This sounds
Kench in
like
the
a
back.
Yeah, Greg had Gerg had no mana whatsoever. I think he was just trying to get them to back off, but fairly positive that the Jinx would have lived regardless.
I don't think it's wasted. I think they could have dove that. I
It's
really
absolutely, it's not wasted, because even though Greg had no mana, the bot lane from Ice still respected it, even though I don't think they had to. Just
Well,
as
they-
it was said.
do. They
went
blew
ahead
the
and
allergic
flashed.
to milk flash too.
Oh,
We got Iron
Jungler
We have a
attack.
fight in the jungle happening between
Bola strike misses.
Lucida and he doesn't have a lot of
Graves-
mana, but
Graves is out of mana.
So is Rengar.
yeah, Urion's just gonna back off there. Meanwhile, again, fight in the top lane while we're engaging in bot lane one more time. Rengar comes to help. Looks like we are gonna say sayonara to our good old pal Sal.
Sal, you're still our pal in our hearts and in our spirits.
Where's my third game
Oh,
review?
hard dive.
By the Sociocat. Oh, flash.
The flash
from
Very
Greg as
aggressive
well
play
from
there. It doesn't look
Starcraft.
like Jirachi or Iron.
Front lash engages onto the Vlad, but it looks like the Vlad is gonna
And a heavy
outplay
attack. And
very good pool.
All right, let's reel it in. I know it depends on them not fighting for a little while, but somebody asked at one point, "How do you see CS?" Hit O, and that brings up the scoreboard.
There we go. I like that lots.
And if you hit X, you can see their goal.
Hooray.
Okay. Whew. Now that all said and
Anyways,
done,
slight lull in the action anyways.
all in all, it's about a 600 gold lead for Team Ice thus far. And one of the biggest things that they have going for them right now is a 101. It's 10 CS up of an O2 Aurelia.
I know we're backing up a little bit here, but I think one of the reasons why I am against the TP down bot lane is because one of the big advantages for Nibia when playing in the mid lane is being able to get your tier, come back with items, especially against the Diana who is behind from the gank from a Urion, and they'd be able to TP back to lane with good items and get even further ahead of the Diana. But
we
got a
gank coming bot.
Who's here? Nice devour timing by Violet Sociocat allows Jirachi to dodge the second half of the end of the line damage from Elucida, and it's everybody back to farming. Looks like Elucida's going to help push out the wave on bot.
Violet Sociocat.
A nice stop on the back there.
The back from StarCraft.
Something interesting to note here is the CS in the mid lane. While Gerg was able to get that early kill onto General Dill with the help of Rengar, General Dill is still ahead on a melee champion by 10 CS.
And they have an invade opportunity here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a red buff over to Irion. He's going to... Not going to matter.
And
Bot lane's coming to collapse.
As well.
Gerg is here. Gerg's about to face check a Nautilus. That's
fire,
no bueno.
Flash
The wall's not going to wall off who he needs.
Gerg.
He's going to miss the stun. And I think it's just going to be everybody back to business. Gerg down a flash. Irion down a flash.
This is not good either, especially with that gold lead that we had mentioned earlier from General Dill. This back is gonna just increase that gold lead for Diana and maybe even give her a roam. Right now we've got some harassing from the Tom Kench on Elucida's blue buff.
Elucida says, thanks for the leash, homie. I had a thought and I lost it. Go me. Good one. Okay, cool. Oh, I remember what it was. It's gonna be. Sometimes I might just start saying something. I'll try and take a lot of the play-by-play.
Rengar top.
Happening here on Light Pulse, but he's gonna drop the ult and try to go for the fight anyway.
It's a lot of damage coming out from both sides,
and
it's gonna be a kill barely over, but minion damage is going to take front lash on the back side of
Light Pulse down.
When Elucida's here and Irion's low with no flash, has his ulti, you run away with it. Never the thing you want to do with your first ult as Rengar, though.
As of right now, despite that gank, we've got a 600 gold lead in the top lane for Light Pulse, and this is not looking good for the late game for the. Here comes a gank on General Dill.
Arion comes in with Thrill of the Hunt.
Damage. Oh, flash away from General Dill.
Still got the slow from the Bola. Ooh. And the red buff.
The shields. Oh, General Dill with the outplay.
Oh, pop to the egg.
We have the egg.
Ult in, and wow, that. Someone give me the highlight reel there because that was. I want to see that again and again and again.
That feels bad, man. That was so cool. One auto away, like when they had General Dill in the lane, and that's a kill.
Just goes to show once again how important it is not to early commit or overcommit early to things like that when you're not sure about it.
Well, I think the thing that hurt the most on it was that Elucida was there in time for the counter gank. Gerg would have been able to get out just fine had Elucida not shown up.
General Dill is in the Anivia.
General Dill is now almost an entire 1,000 gold ahead of Gerg.
Maybe they're doing a lane. Yeah, they did a lane swap. I don't hate that. I think the Anivia into Vladimir's not that bad, and I think Aurelia into there is a lot better.
Using that wall.
He's getting some good damage down onto Light Pulse.
Yeah, I don't know why Light Pulse is staying here.
I've asked myself that about 7 times a game, I feel like. Why is he still staying here? He's confident that he can still outplay.
General Dill going for the reset. Just
bye front lash.
Yeah, down on front lash hard, and this is not good. No. Because I think that the Aurelia could at least hold with the Vladimir still, definitely behind. But now we're just setting General Dill further ahead, and I don't think by any means that the Anivia is going to be able to. Oh, we have an engage on the.
A nice dredge line from Allergic. But he might get devoured as a result of it.
Going over the wall, flash
nice
away.
Flash. Oh, aggressive arcane shift from
down.
StarCraft.
And
pumping out the DPS.
Just clear some more, so we're going to back out now. Good.
Super Mega Death Rocket coming in,
Oh,
but not
and now we're coming back in with the Rengar ultimate.
Here with
Thrill of
Thrill
the
of
Hunt
the Hunt.
comes. Jumps down into Lucida, flash over the wall. Ooh, good double flash there. General Deer's close nearby. Lotus Milk might be looking to engage again, but front lash is down.
Oh, down goes Nautilus.
Yeah, I think Team Ice should run away here, but... Ooh. Violent Sociocat.
What?
Was that intentional, or was that...
It was the spook factor.
Lucida realizing
Ingrid from General Dill. And
And the fight continues.
Lucida takes down
Lucida
and
so much damage between General Dill and Lucida right now. And that's not in a bad place either. They just have so much damage for these little skirmish type fights that it's tough.
And honestly, after getting that kill, after they're already behind, and Lucida with a surprise. Goodbye, Front Lash. Looks like we're gonna go first turret to
You were loved.
Team Ice here.
Yeah, don't give Lucida graves, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Important to note, out of the 3K gold that Team Ice is ahead right now, almost all of that is on the top and mid lane.
Yeah. And those are the lanes that we said really need to get ahead.
And
The good thing that Team Fire has going for them is that they have Anivia. They can wave clear this game out as long as they want to.
Yeah, but the late game I still think is in favor of Team Ice. And really, in that play there, after picking off one of them, they should have just backed off, already being behind. Like you said, with Elucida being just so strong right now. Yeah, the continuing to stick around was just not the best decision there.
I think we found a good funny fail month. That Abyssal Voyage. We got good damage coming out from
Front Lash. But
he has Executioner's Calling now, which is actually going
we get one more Q here. Nope.
One more Q?
Oh, man.
Oh.
Close one. But
feels bad.
Yeah,
so
feels
close.
I think good pickup with the Executioner's Calling. But at this point, I think the mistake, one of the bigger mistakes is here, is that regardless of
Throw the Hunt
Front Lash,
fiery on, we're gonna see
General
Dill
get engaged in the bot lane and the top lane.
We're gonna have a lot of fighting going on. It's gonna be a shutdown. Gold going over to Violet Sociocat. All the meanwhile, Jirachi's gonna get picked off. And Kill going over to Starcraft.
3v1ing. Are we gonna see a help out? We see the bot lane's coming in to help.
A nice wall.
Team Fire should probably back off. Oh, Elucida with a kill on Yuri. Just the damage on the grave is ridiculous right now. I don't even remember what I was gonna say earlier.
It seems like one step forward and 5 steps back for Team Fire right now. They're taking all the wrong engages. It's just
and they're trying to be bloody when they're behind, and we're seeing that in their builds too, particularly with Front Lash. 0-6 being a bruiser should definitely go to take Hex Drinker. Or,
I can't disagree. Aurelia is one of those champions.
Spirit Visage or something to.
If you can never get to your Triforce, you're just never gonna do it. So I can still understand rushing a Triforce. The thing I might have gone for, you have Ignite. You have a form of Grievous Wounds for the Vladimir. Skip the EXE calling until you finish your Triforce, maybe. And I mean, it's hard to say.
Being 0-5 and then getting the Executioner's calling, it's too late then.
Right. I mean, I feel like if you have the Ignite, you already have the source. Just have to not fight him if you don't have your Ignite up. We might see a dive onto Jirachi. General Dill is sitting in the Tribush, no vision on him. There is backup in the wings, but it might be too quick. Goodbye, sayonara. General Dill on this Diana is no joke, man.
Yeah, I have not seen General Dill play this champion, but it's
we don't get to
some work.
We don't get to see him play a lot of assassins. He generally leans on mages or the Lux, generally leaning on that type of stuff. So it's kind of nice to see him playing something a little bit more aggressive for once, because he's really good and he's good at that type of playstyle. He just doesn't play it very often.
Yeah. Looks like we're in 15 minutes into the game, and it's looking pretty dangerous, particularly with the fact that the Navia has not completed her Rod of Ages yet.
And Aurelia hasn't gotten her Triforce yet. Those are two huge one-item power spikes for Team Fire that they just kind of need to get to as quick as they can.
And Graves is no joke to be messing with right now. Black Cleaver.
Oh, looks like I can just solo this dragon. Unless we can see a really nice steal
Leave a
from
dragon
Jar.
over the wall.
The flash in.
And
He's not
Team
gonna
Ice
get it.
still gets the dragon, and
And
it's
now it's
gonna
gonna be a
take down
2v5, and it's gonna be unfortunate.
Ooh, Zerg,
oh,
though,
almost.
getting
kill.
oh
Oh, the
Jirachi
super mega death rocket.
super death rocket to shut down the ice.
Hashtag. sniped.
Meanwhile,
Feels bad, man. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Light Pulse
Light
is
Pulse doing Light Pulse.
running over the Jinx.
This is the thing about Light Pulse. Like, he's a very, very solid top laner, and he's really good carry, and he's really good with elite, especially. And that's what he's got right now. He can pretty much 1v1 anybody on the side of Team Fire right now, which is why he can just split push till the cows come home, you know. And now he's gonna take on the next challenge. Next challenge is Violet's got enough stacks to devour him.
Lucida
It's
and
not gonna lead to anything.
Large Milko jumping in on Gurg. Yeah. Right now, if I was Team Ice, I would. Oh, well, they are setting Ezreal down. I'd say get that bottom turret. There's so much pressure in the mid lane and the top lane that that tower should be free for them, and they're already up 6,000 gold.
Because yeah, Jirachi's just running mid because he has to wave clear in mid lane. We're gonna see. It looks like
get the
things on
steel
the Rift Herald.
blue buff from General Dill, and then flash
Somebody
over
flashed.
the Anivia wall.
Oh, it was General Dill flashed. Okay. So a flash for a blue buff.
And it looks like
Maybe
StarCraft
not
is going to
worth-
get that bottom turret.
As some people are commenting in the chat, it is important to note that Team Fire does have a late game comp, but that's not very relevant if the members of Team Ice that are meant to counter those late game champions are as strong as they are. So if the Diana finds the Jinx out alone, then that's over. There's no chance that the Jinx is going to survive. Likewise, the Aurelia would have been a good counter to that Diana, but she's just so far behind right now. It's going to be hard to get there.
Even on a late game team comp, a 6k gold deficit at 18 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot to overcome.
And Team Ice does have a good late game.
Frontlash going in for play
happening to
onto
them
Light
so
Pulse,
fast.
but he's down 3 levels and he's down a person now. He's allergic to milk whiffs on the dredge line, but it's not gonna matter.
He uses the exhaust despite the fact that
And he wanted the
holy cow.
I feel like we just watched
Just
that
as I was
exact
saying.
play.
I'm having
I feel like we
deja
just watched
vu.
that exact play.
Jinx just got
General
destroyed.
Dill
Wow, Sociocat
running
should
in.
not be here right now. Yep, and Lucida follows
He might
up.
have a big
and
onto Light Pulse though,
goodbye.
but at this point it's too late. He's a little too tanky. I know he's not really a tank, but
good
pseudo tank.
stun.
Good
by
damage.
Gurg,
It's just
but-
Diana was absolutely a
Not enough.
perfect pick to counter that Jinx in every way.
I don't even think it was picked to counter the Jinx. I just think he picked it to counter the Anivia because once you get to level 6, there's so much all-in potential onto an Anivia that it just makes it tough. And Anivia is such a squishy champion to begin with. Diana likes going on squishy champs. Frontlash going in for a play 2v1 and he's gonna get bobbed.
Delete it.
Ridiculous right now.
There's actually a lot of talk in the chat. I like it. Keep it up, you guys. We like to see that.
Looks like Rift Herald will be going over to the Graves.
I don't see why not. I think that
Exactly.
makes a lot of
I agree with
sense.
the choice. Because Light
'Cause-
Pulse really doesn't need it. Light Pulse is already so far ahead, and Graves.
Well, I mean, you throw in some auto attacks as Vladimir, but really all that Rift Herald would do would be to help you push towers down faster. It gets the damage reduction would be good too, but he's Vladimir. He already doesn't care about damage at this
Love
point,
going over to
especially with the
General
Spirit
Dill.
Visage now. How stacked is this tier? Yeah, see the tier stacking on Gurg, it still needs like 300 stacks. Being 300 stacks short of 20 minutes is rough. That's rough territory to be in.
and he's not. He's doesn't even have the needlessly large rod to transform that. Full stack.
Right.
It's gonna be
It's still gonna be a
long
minute.
time before.
Yeah, because he
maybe
just
10.
bought. He's only got 100 gold in his inventory right now, so he's not even like he's sitting on 800 gold or something. We got a cheese bush, the Gurg special.
Yeah, if I was playing the Anivia right now, I would try to stack the tier to get the mana and maybe get a Morello's just to have some damage and to maybe help the healing of the Vladimir, to stop the healing of the Vladimir and the Graves. But holy cow, that damage from Lucida.
I didn't even see that. I was watching.
Coming in, engaged onto the Diana. But the miscommunication between Violent Sociocat and
they're still gonna pick up the kill.
still picks up the kill, but they do lose the turret.
Any gold you can get at this point if your team fire is good gold.
Yeah. Oh, good dredge line from
Nice hook.
but it looks like they're just gonna back off of this one.
Yeah, that's still a fairly tanky champion, the Tom Kench. Even when you're behind, the gray health does a lot.
Honestly, if Light Pulse ends up taking this, might see a play on the. If Light Pulse ends up getting this top turret, the kill on General Dill would have been 2 turrets for General Dill's death, which is not by any means, but they need something. Yep, that turret's gonna go. Top turret goes again to Team Ice, who's now at almost an 11,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and this is the perfect game for Vladimir, because Vladimir literally never has to leave top.
No, doesn't have to leave top lane at all. And the thing is, too, is that
We got a fight coming in. We got a Vladimir gets devoured. He's going to be into a 1v4 now. He has his ult. He throws it down. Unfortunately, he's going to get stunned and can't get his pool out. A nice pickup there by Team Fire. What can they do with it, though? I'm not sure that they can win a straight-up 5v4 at this point. All things considered, there's just so much AoE damage from General Dill and Lucida.
allergic to PMALCS, usually really aggressive. Might. Oof.
But he's taken him down to about half health. That's one thing about Nautilus' support. You don't have the same gold income as you do at a top lane Nautilus, where you can just literally walk into 4 people and not care.
StarCraft going a little.
We got an Abyssal Voyage coming in. It's going to be an Abyssal Voyage delivering front lash to the bush.
With Gerd backing, they're not going to be able to take this dragon by any means.
As tough as it is to play from behind, Team Fire sort of just rolled over there and didn't make a decision quickly enough. I think they might have been able to get that dragon if they would have been decisive.
I think they did make a decision, but then the Abyssal Voyage went in the wrong place again.
I don't know what Front Lash is doing here.
Front lash is trying to show
Tom
General
Kench
Dill what's
being
up.
here. Oh, there's going to be TP coming into the
TP.
Vlad, and the other team should probably run away.
Eats the Aurelia and runs away.
And goodbye, Front Lash. Gets the exhaust off on a General Dill, but not going to do much. And it looks like Team Ice is going to get mid turret as well.
Well, this is
now
this is making me really happy that we never ran a Nivea. Pumps off. Ooh, shade thrown.
Don't let Greg hear that.
He won't care. Good damage, good dodge on the dredge line. Good mechanics. I mean, it's just the gold lead at this point. Like, they're playing this, I think, the best ultimately that they can for the situation they've been given. It's just so hard. There's no lanes that won.
I think the mistake is that they're still trying to go so kill heavy. Meanwhile, the enemy team is just, Team Ice is just working around the map infinitely better. They're taking dragons, they're taking turrets, while just trading for a kill or 2, not even large team fights of 4 or 5. I think it's the big struggle here.
I want to take a second and talk about the 4 sweepers coming out on the side of Team Ice. They are not letting Fire at all into their jungle any chance they get.
I mean, who's gonna face check? Like,
Exactly.
even if the Tom Kench is your tankiest choice to face check a bush, and that's still not the most ideal because there's no escape. At least if you have the Nautilus support per se, you have the dredge line that you can use as an escape to latch onto the wall or something. But Tom Kench doesn't have the escape. And everybody else is just too squishy to face check. I agree. I think it's very smart to roll that route.
I just wish in a perfect world that Team Fire would show something like a
Missed dredge line into the wall. Allergic to milk. Flash in from General Dill, but nothing happening.
Gets a flash away from Irion. Arguably a more important flash.
Looks like Team Ice is going to go for Baron.
Baron
Yep.
call.
Thrill the Hunt is up for Irion, but and there it is. He's going to come running in. Can he make something happen here? They're going to peel back.
Baron and
Not a bad bait there. Baited out Thrill the Hunt, and now once it's down, you can just go right back onto Baron.
See, the thing is, they took a lot of damage from Baron, and the TP is up from if they decided to send him in. And they might be able to win a team fight, but they'd probably give up bottom turret for it.
They took the damage, but the two people who are arguably the ones who need to tank it more are your Nautilus and your Graves, and they were full health still. So I mean, it's they took damage onto General Dill and to StarCraft, but they can just stay in the back of stay kind of away from Baron. We get a very
We
aggressive.
get a dredge line.
It's gonna hit the wall, but miss. Can you get the auto attack down?
General Dill is gonna try to. Frontlash is gonna try to take on General Dill, but oh my, the ultimate. Oh, little over.
The double ult.
Coming from Team Ice. But
I'm
it
getting
looks
some
like-
lag on my screen, so I'm a little bit choppy, just so you guys know.
This is actually an advantageous time for Team Fire to possibly look to take a pick because of those ults being down.
And because arguably you could say that General Dill is worth a little bit more right now than a Frontlash, just with the way it is. Like, if there's a team fight without Frontlash and without General Dill, it tilts a little bit more in the favor of Team Fire right now, just because of how far behind the Aurelia is. So there's something to be said for that.
Any 1v1 that Team
Kenji's
Fire
taking
can
a
get
lot
on
of
Team Ice
damage
right now
though,
is going to be
and-
a good
Ooh, Lucido, great play there. Oh, dredge line comes down onto the Rengar, and goodbye. Double kill for Elucida. Maybe a
Frontlash
triple
is
kill.
here, though.
Here it is, triple kill for Elucida. Just
Super Mega
so
Death
much damage
Rocket
coming out.
not gonna be able to hit StarCraft.
Honestly, this top turret should go down no problem for Team Ice.
They do have the Anivia here.
They're gonna
Oh, the flash
go for
in
flash
from
away. Great
Wait.
dredge line by Sal once again.
Keeping in mind that Elucida has that Rift Herald buff on for another 12 minutes, which is conceivably going to be the rest of the game. So,
They might get chunked out away from this inhibitor.
Oh,
gonna
StarCraft
happen.
did not expect it.
But Elucida is going to go hard for the Jinx, and Jinx will go down. And inhib is taken with
Thrill of the hunt.
Looks like they're leaving Light Pulse to die, though. But
To
Light
die or
Pulse
to
says,
1v3?
nay, I'm going to take all three of the enemy team on.
He does not have his
and
flash.
There he goes. Luckily, though, Lucida and Allergic to Milk will make it out.
We got Silent Talk on the chat talking about would have been awesome to see an Avern Juggle top in this comp. Can't necessarily disagree with you. I think they were less concerned about the comps than just picking champs they wanted to play. Which is, you run that risk when you do that. And we said it's going to be a bloody game, and that bloody games lead to the chance for very snowbally games. So, what, if anything?
General Dill is gonna jump onto front lash. Looks like Euron's gonna come help out, but
Oh,
close.
I was about to ask, what if anything can Team Fire do? But maybe Gerg 7 had to go for a brand instead of the Anivia, and they're Team Fire, not Team Ice.
You know, with the Cloud Drakes, they might want to rotate to the Baron, and it looks like someone's pinging it now.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
silly as it-
personally,
What's
as
up,
silly
Will?
as it might seem, it would have been really nice to see Gerg on something like a Lux into this team comp. I really think that he would have had a lot of great kills on the back end of fights, even if they didn't win the fight overall. It would have been nice to see them draw back in with that.
And
I
he
just
does
think
play
Greg
good
sometimes
ones,
gets.
too.
I think Greg just sometimes gets bored of his same old picks. He's kind of like me. He needs variation in what he picks and what he plays.
I mean,
That's
I
why we-
personally would have
Team
liked
Ice
to
to
see
start
him
a
out.
Baron, and
Will.
Team Fire is not even going to touch it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. No Jinx Rocket, but it's not going to be enough damage, nor is it at the right time. It's just going to be a little bit of poke damage, but that's not going to matter. I think at this point now it's all over but the shout, and they're going to have Baron. They've got control in all
General
three
Dill's going to
ways.
flash onto the jungler, and
That should be-
we're going to go for it anyway? No.
Oh, wow.
And now it's
Way.
just
GG.
General Dill alone. We lose the flash from General Dill and from Yurion there.
And a canceled TP. Interesting. I guess it worked out in the end, but
Think about our Team Ice right now. Actually, it doesn't really matter. I would send 4 mid and then one of them bottom while top lane is pushing. But, it looks like
it's
they're going to
honestly
do that
not
after
going to
all.
matter too much. Okay, yeah, they do send a loop. At least I remember having the glimpse of the void.
Because it
We'll
looks
just
like
be-
they would take it regard. They can just push
Yeah.
down regardless.
Yeah,
There goes
the
bottom turret to Rosita.
the Anivia wave clear becomes a lot harder against Baroned up minions.
minions.
Like, it's really good against normal minions. We got
Thrill
the
the
Hunt
for
going in
Yurion.
from Irion.
Looks like they are going to engage in the bottom lane, but
There's
this
just too much
may-
damage. Good CC chain onto General Dill, though. He might go down in the midst of all.
yeah, General Will does go down.
And we saw front lash on the back end, but now Light Pulse is here and he has full health, and they're a nice
Exhaust
stun
on
coming out of
Lucida,
Violet
but it looks like
Sociocat.
they're losing their entire base, and StarCraft is taking the Nexus
So they'll-
Towers.
They'll survive, but they'll lose their
Lose
base.
the Nexus Towers.
Nice wall from Gerd. Can you get the damage?
Violet Sociocat trying to engage on Allergic to Melt.
There's just so much damage at this point, and there's nobody who can really eat the damage. We're gonna see Violet Sociocat go down with Allergic to Milk in his belly. StarCraft flashing forward.
Meanwhile,
Once again,
StarCraft
he's
taking
gonna
a lot
get
of damage,
popped.
but the minions
Oh,
will
and
end
he's gonna-
the game.
They'll and then take the Nexus before he can die. It's gonna be GG Team Ice.
32-minute game. Almost up 20,000 gold. 31 to 13.
Somebody in the chat echoed the sentiment, but as I said in the beginning of the game before it started, I really do believe that the Rengar pick was kind of the odd man out as he came to the late game. It just wasn't able to do the thing that this team really needed, which was something tanky or something with CC to soak up all that damage.
Well, and if you look at it, like with the exception of the Ezreal, every pick on Team Ice's side was something that would be perfectly fine having a Rengar jump in your face. A Vladimir wants to be in your face, a Graves wants to be in your face, a Diana wants to be in your face.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with an Aurelia behind almost all games,
Mm-hmm.
didn't really do much with the combination of the Rengar. They just had no tank to do anything for them. And
Interestingly enough, the Rengar for Team Fire actually had less damage than the Tahm Kench to champions overall, and by a pretty large margin. So he really, even though the KDA is somewhat alright based on kills and everything, it wasn't able to make the type of impact that I think he probably wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Alright, gang. Go ahead and vote for player of the game. I just posted that in the chat. I also, as you saw, threw a little shout out, maybe throw some champion suggestions that might get pulled out in the second game. We got a special game mode coming up for y'all, and I'm going to give these suggestions to the players and see what they can do with them. Otherwise, we're going to take a short little break, get reset for game 2. And don't forget to follow the channel, donate to the prize pool, and otherwise, we will be back in a jiffy.
be back soon.